Hello everyone, back again with another Commodore 64 UK vs US. And today we'll be comparing Space Harrier. Now, here's the UK version by Elite. Now at the time, in computer and video games, when this game was being converted, they said that it was physically impossible to convert Space Harrier to any home system at the time, but Elite Systems thought they could do it, so they got the rights for it, and they've done pretty good conversions on every single system really. I mean, I think this is one of the Sega games that fared really good. I've played all three 8-bit versions, all three are really good. I can't really say what version is better, my own honest opinion. I think they're pretty good on every system. But this UK version has got some problems. I mean, it hasn't got the floor coloured, you know, like the sort of textured coloured floor. It's like a sort of chessboard thing on the arcade. As I say, again, on this video I haven't included the arcade footage because I've done a 16-bit wars on this as well, and it shows the arcade version on that. And because this is such a popular game at the time, I'm pretty much sure anyone watching this video has actually seen the arcade version and is familiar with what it looks like. But this runs at a decent speed anyway, going back to the video, and it plays really well. I had this at the time when it came out when I was a little kid, and I was really impressed with it. I really liked it, and I played it on my mate's Amstrad, and the Amstrad version was good as well. And they've done a different sort of look with the graphics on that. I don't think that's got the floor in either. But the Amstrad version added on the graphics. The character you control, I think he's called Harry. He's sort of like how he is on this, except not as blocky, and I think he's a bit more colourful. But the rest of the other things that fly at you, the rocks and the pillars and other things like that, are actually sort of like vector graphics on the Amstrad for some reason. It looks like literally you can fly straight through them. I mean, it works pretty well, it plays quite fast, and it is playable. Anyway, we'll go on to the US version. Now, the story of this is, the guy who programmed it, Chris Butler I think, he didn't want to release, well, Elite were rushing him to release it, and he kept telling them it wasn't finished, but they basically gave him a deadline, he had to release it. So with the US version, he fixed a lot of things. I mean, now it has got the colouring on the floor, and some of the sound effects are different. I think another thing you can mainly notice is when you run across the floor, the animation for him running is a lot better on this version than on the UK one. I should have said that earlier actually, because it sort of looks really dodgy on the UK version, like you're riding one of them one-wheel bike things. I can't think what they're called, but well, you know what I mean. Whereas this version, they have improved it quite a lot. It's the same program as, but because he had the extra time to do it, he made a much better job of it. I think that's a lot of problem with a lot of conversions. They don't give the developers enough time to do the games, and they sort of give them really strict time limits to do them in, and they end up doing a game that they maybe shouldn't have released because it's not 100% finished. I mean, at this day and age, obviously things like that aren't so much of a problem because you can get updates for games and stuff like that, but obviously with these old home computers at the time, there were no internet, and when the game was out pretty much. But I do think this US version is much better. When it plays exactly the same, it just looks a hell of a lot better. And the sound effects are better as well. Going off the subject slightly, has anyone seen the 16-bit wars I've done on this? The ST and Amiga version are both like really good. Really impressive, quite close to the arcade. As I say, a lot of the Sega games didn't get that much justice done when they were converted, because I think a lot of them were done by US Gold and they didn't really care how good the conversions were or not. Whereas Elite did actually make decent games. They have done a few crappy games, but most of their games are really good, really high quality. I'm not sure what company converted it. Released it, sorry, in the US. I think it's this is known as a Sega version anyway, even though it's actually programmed by the same guy who did it in the UK. But yeah, this is really impressive. I'm really running out of things to say about this game actually, because I've recorded way too much footage of it, because I really got into it when I was playing the two different versions earlier. I really like the arcade game as well, it's definitely a classic. It's one game that I still play all the time on my Sega Saturn or on MAME. Yeah, this version is definitely worth checking out anyway, the US version. I wasn't aware of it at the time, I only, as I say, played the UK one as a kid. This is definitely the winner, the US. Thanks for watching.